Hey, everybody, we are live. I'm really excited to invite on the show and have on the show my new friend. His name is Dave Mason of BetOnline, and I could not think of a better person to turn to with so many decades in the business as Dave to talk about our Cal coach, Justin Wilcox, fired after a just a disastrous loss to Stanford down on the farm. A game that I thought I was absolutely certain, Dave, we were going to blow them out of the Leland Stanford uh, uh, stadium there. Instead, the opposite happened. We got blown out in the most in the craziest of ways. Turnover after turnover after turnover. Literally one, two, three. Hey, 21 points. Boom, and it just ended. I thought something that should have came to an end myself 5 years ago. Now, uh, I here we are. I'm not going to leave my commentary out for a moment. No, I'll add it. I'm happy, and the reason I'm happy is because I felt that after being associated with the university for as long as I have, Dave, we settle for mediocrity and we don't demand greatness. We are happy with someone who just makes us feel good, at least some of us, and that's pretty much about it with respect to football. But football is far too important a revenue generating entity to screw up, and I believe that this was the best move to make, and then it's going to be followed by who we hire, which would be an even better move, I think, um, than what we had, because people will sing his praises, but what I remember is I understand he was upset with the university and the city over the whole COVID issue, but don't go and interview with Oregon. That's supposed to be our enemy. So he did that. So I thought, not cool. And um, and then I met him through a mutual friend, and I had an offensive idea, and we met at the Kingfish Bar in Berkeley after the game and one of the games. And so he I understand people don't want to talk, but he was really off-putting, and I didn't expect that. I know John Gruden; he likes to talk strategy. I don't know a football coach that doesn't like to talk strategy. And then there was him, there was Justin, there was Coach, and I was really disappointed. I had a playbook I wanted to send him, and he just kind of waved me off like send it to his
All
off
right.
coordinator. It was just yeah. So okay, enough of me. I'm excited to get on with this new phase. Talk to me. What say you about who the front runners are? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I like your commentary, especially the last part, because I mean, being a head coach is just about PR. I mean, of course, the X and O's and the wins are most important, but if you're not winning, you better have be a good PR guy and listen to your fans and your diehards. If not, man, they'll turn on you fast. I'm actually a Villanova fan in basketball. That's what we experienced the last 3 years. The guy they hired, it's like, all right, he had a tough job following Jay Wright, but it's like he didn't do himself any favors in the PR world. So, anyways, back to your question. Possibly from Oregon, defensive coordinator. He's the favorite. Of course, played at Cal. A great resume. Again, defensive coordinator at Oregon, coached at Bana in the NFL. So, I mean, he's checking a lot of boxes there. He's a 3-1 favorite. Followed by this guy, his odds are too short, but Ron Rivera, GM there at Cal, 5-1. I don't see it happening, but you never know. You never know in today's college football where, now we have GMs in college football. Who would have thought about that 5 to 10 years ago? And, we have some of these old KG veterans, Bill Belichick, cough, cough, right? So you never know if the older guys want to get back in there for one last run. But he's 5-1. I wouldn't count on it. Here's one I like.
So
SDS.
here's my question: if he's the GM, then who becomes the GM if he's the coach, or is he both?
Don't know. Some of these guys have egos that could try to be both, right? I mean, this is a new college landscape, right? With GMs, and then so he
Yeah,
could he could try to be both, but where he
yeah.
just relinquishes those duties and goes for the higher profile thing as head coach, and somebody else takes GM. I mean, it'd be tough to do both those jobs in today's college game, and with the NIL and transfer portal, that's a full time job managing that. So I couldn't see him doing both, but I couldn't even see him taking the head coach route. But there are some people say he has a good shot. 5-1. Sean Lewis from SDSU head coach plus 550. Then Jim Moore from UConn. They're sitting at 9-3 this year. I mean, UConn football 9-3. That's a success right there. He must be able to coach something. 7-1. David Shaw, you already mentioned
Yes.
Stanford.
Yes.
Former Stanford coach, had great success at Stanford. He's on the Lions coaching staff. He's at 7-1. And then it drops down to the 12-1 type of players, guys. And the long shot, you got to give it another shout out for alum Deshaun Jackson. I mean, he's a long shot. It ain't going to happen, but you never know. It'd be pretty cool.
He's 8 wins and 4 losses.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, that's. I was just refreshing my when we were doing these odds. I was like, I'm a Philly guy, so I mean, I love the Deshaun Jackson, man. So and Delaware State, that's right near Philly, so I'm very familiar with that college. So I was like, how is he doing? I really haven't paid much attention. I was like, holy heck, 8-4 at Delaware State,
Yeah.
good for him.
Yeah, first year out, first season. I actually went to YouTube to watch the tapes. A read option offense, well executed, well coached. And I thought, hey, maybe this could work. Maybe Deshaun Jackson's the guy we should consider because, I don't know the last time other than Ron Rivera we've hired from within. And generally,
Right,
it's been somebody from the outside. And yeah, I can't. Well, Troy Taylor. Okay. Well, no, Troy Taylor was our quarterback. I'm sorry. Troy Taylor wanted to coach. I remember when he wanted to coach and he didn't get hired. That was a long time ago. He was kind of in Deshaun's position, right? And then
right.
he grew to become Stanford's coach. But unfortunately, I don't know if you know this or not, he got into allegedly a sexual harassment kind of
Oh boy,
situation.
right.
Yeah, so that was
But even Deshaun, I mean, you just look see what Dion did. Even though they're struggling this year, just that extra bit of life into the program. And Deshaun's not in Dion's level, but it could spark a little bit of extra life. But nothing's going to do more next to nose. So I think Deshaun's gotta still prove his worth at Delaware State until he's seriously mentioned. That's why it's 50-1 long shot. But yeah, those are the favorites. So again, Lapoy is the favorite, 3-1.
yeah. I'll tell you. I saw a video 2 nights ago. Delaware State at Colorado, and they, even though they eventually got knocked out of the game, so to speak, early on they comported themselves very impressively. Drove 80 yards for a touchdown, made the right calls against Colorado, and I thought, wow, they could upset them. It didn't happen, of course, but imagery is counts for something, right? I was
Oh,
impressed.
absolutely. I mean, he's a guy to keep an eye on, right? Too early. First year, yeah, he's doing impressive things, but it is. Let's see another year or two. But he's on. I'll be rooting for him again. Go Eagles.
Now I hear that Mora is also being looked at, or maybe the guy at Stanford, because Frank Reich is out, and there's a murmur that so this, I think someone referred to him as a nepo baby, uh, was in line to be the next coach, and of course, Jim Mora's dad is the legendary. Uh, Playoffs, playoffs. Remember that? You talking about playoffs? The Jim Mora, and but now you're saying he's good at Cal, so it sounds like a bidding war or something, huh? Possibly, maybe. You think, Dave? Oh, I think I may have lost Dave. Uh, so while we're trying to get Dave back, and maybe it's his headphones or something, um, I will or maybe it was my nepo baby comment. I don't know. But at any rate, something happened there. Yeah, he'll be back. That happens with his headset. He had a headset, folks, that was working, and then early on in our tests, it would kind of peter out on him. So I think he'll be back in a few seconds, hopefully. Unless, of course, maybe uh, Here we are. Here he is. Here he is. Back. He's
Yeah, I got
back.
disconnected there. Everything froze and disconnected.
Oh, I thought my Nepo baby comment got to you. I thought, no, no, no. I didn't.
I caught that. I caught that bits and pieces, but that then it kicked me out. So I don't know if it's on your end, my end, whatever. Probably my end. It is, it's a daily occurrence with my tech skills.
No, I thought it was that doggone AI today. You never know. Somebody's like
Could be.
got a gremlin in there. Hey, so at any rate, but my question was: is it going to be, you think, a bidding war between Cal and Stanford, and uh, between for Jim Moore Jr. services? Is that what's shaping up here?
Could be. I mean, could be for a bunch of these guys. Jim Mora could be a bidding war. Tosh could be a bidding war for some of these openings. I mean, he's one of the hotter names out there. That's not a Lane Kiffin or one of those guys, but as an up and comer. So you got to pay in today's game, man. If you want to win, you know that. I mean, the game has changed so much, and you were
Yep. Yeah, it really has.
yeah, Cal, sure, they haven't been a powerhouse, but it's a respectful program with a great history. So you got to put out money. I mean, not just with your coaches now. Now you're hiring a GM like we talked about, and they have a big time GM, a big name GM, and now you got to pay the players, and they have some good young players. Quarterback's an up and comer, so you're gonna have to spend money if you're gonna expect to win. You gotta put that money down, and the players. That's the thing. The players will notice that now. If they're like, oh, they're not going for a big time head coach. I'm out of here. They don't have to wait 2 years to transfer now. Now they hit the door and start somewhere else next year and making seven figures to boot. Man, it's. I bet you wish you were playing these days.
Yeah. Hey, I'd like your view on that. What do you think about the our situation at Cal and our legacy of not getting the top coaches to come and stick around? Uh, how do we yeah, how do we jump over the rock? How do we get better? How do we become the place where we can turn around and say, hey, Lane Kiffin is coming
Right.
to Cal, right?
Well, I mean, shoot. It's tough, It's. I love California. Spent some years out there in California. And gun to head, I'd be love to live in California now. But I mean, the big time football, college football's in the southeast and the Midwest, so it's hard to compete with those boosters. I always say, because again, I lived in California for 7 or 8 years, and I grew up in Philadelphia, so I get it, which is more of a pro city, right? But it's still the passionate fans like the SEC. I always explain it to people who didn't like live in California or anything. Like in Philadelphia, if our football team is not good, it ruins our winter. I mean, the cold weather, that's all we depend upon.
Yep.
And when I lived in San Diego, if the Chargers are bad or whoever, you just go to the beach.
Yeah.
Your life isn't over. You go to the beach, big deal. You look at some bikinis and drink some beers on the beach. It's no big deal in Philadelphia. So that's kind of how it is. It's the guy.
I will tell you though, when the Raiders
Tell
beat
me.
Oakland, it was like
Oh
being
yeah,
in an East Coast city. If the Raiders lost, the city felt it.
yeah. No, I hear you. But then again, they left.
Well, yeah,
Which is bigger story, bigger, but they had a passionate fan base there. But again, they're competing across the river or across the bay as well.
they left because the
But
government didn't love them, and you had too many people uh, I'll just say it, who feel like their egos have to match Al Davis's, as
all
opposed
right,
to, there's plenty of other cities that have city managers and mayors that have no problem writing that letter that says, "Hey, look, come to our town,"
all
and
right,
Vegas is a polar opposite in terms of what I call economic development infrastructure to attract the Raiders. What's
all
missing
right,
is, as you know, the fan base passion. But you know what? Las Vegas,
all right.
because I was there. Oh, the Buffalo Super Bowl, man. They did a wonderful job hosting the Super Bowl. I mean,
Sure.
you know, so big place for big events. Um, the Raiders are now worth what, 6 billion, approaching 7 billion. Could it happen in Oakland? I thought it could. I was really married to that idea myself, but it didn't. So I just want to
All
say,
right,
just to say that Oakland's got it. It's just the government uh, really made a lot of mistakes, and
sure.
that was the problem. And continues to be
Right,
the problem, because get this, we have as a city, unlike the 90s, did not put together a bid to bring the Raiders back this time. We didn't, or in NFL football, okay? We let NFL football go. Prior to that, we let the Warriors go. Ed Lee, who was one of my first client when I went into consulting, I have this video right here on Zinni 62 where he's saying that they went after the Warriors aggressively. They basically yanked the Warriors out of the throat of Oakland. Okay, you hear me? Ed was determined to make that happen. Mark Benioff helped him. I got after Benioff. Benioff said, "We have problems. You have an education problem." I said, "Mark, if we have a problem, why do you have to, contribute to it by taking our team away? Give me a break,
All
man."
right.
You know? And he had no comeback for that. We were having a Twitter war like nobody's business. Oh my God. Oh, oh, awful. Benioff, you owe
Yeah,
us a team. I'm telling you, you owe us a team. Tell you about the Salesforce.
do it. But I
Man,
mean, back to your original question. I mean,
sure.
it's I mean, college football is so weird now. I mean, the Pac-10 and the Pac-12 was such a great conference, and now, I mean, you guys are playing the ACC. I mean,
Oh,
and the ACC will probably be disbanded in a few years too. I mean, it's just college football is weird with all that, and then like I said, and it's obviously common knowledge, but SEC and Big Ten just roll the roll the world when it comes to football, and
how does that
so
how
I
does that
think
affect what
Cal.
you do?
What's that?
When you lay a lot of bet, like let's talk the coaching situation. How does this uncertainty affect your betting and everything? How do you find yourself updating on a more regular basis, or how does that work for you?
You mean the game odds or like next coach odds?
Everything, given the
Yeah,
just
I
the
mean,
uncertainty.
the game odds. We have our data. We have our metrics. Where we know what teams are doing good, and we take sharp action here at BetOnline. So we hang a number and the sharps bet it into place, and then by kickoff that number's as sharp as possible, and that's how it works when it comes to those spreads. I mean, now these markets, these niche markets like next coach. Oh man, they're a challenge. I mean, we get beat on these pretty much long term. They're just so hard to come up with these odds and keep up with the rumor. It's not really the coming up with the odds; it's keeping up with the rumors. I mean, it's just we have a lot to do, right? I mean, this isn't our bread and butter. This isn't a meat and potatoes market. We put these up, and people like to bet them. People love to talk about them. That's all great, but it's not making us any money. That's the spreads and the traditional gambling, right?
Yeah.
So, with that being said, you'll have all these bettors who just are keep up with the information and every rumor, and can just like I'm looking at the odds here. Will Stein 18-1. There could be a hot rumor. Will Stein was seen at lunch with the president. And next thing you know, you're getting all these bets at 18-1. Even if the limits aren't that high, all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, what the heck's going on here? So
Hey,
that's how these, from a
Dave.
bookmaking point of view, these are very challenging to book. But
Hey,
yeah, but
Dave.
as part of the game, yes, sir.
Do you have a list that I can put up here for people to see of your uh, coaches, a website or that I can go to now, and people can see at a glance what your selections are for Cal Coach? Or
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's right on our site. I mean, I don't know if you're on our site or not, but
I can get up there in a second.
you go to betonline.ag and then you click on sports at the top.
.ag.
Yeah, .ag. And you click on sports at the top. Then on the left hand side, you go to football on for the drop down.
Okay, left hand side drop down. I've got home live betting. Oh, I see. Oh, football
Sports.
there. Yep.
There's football on the left, and then you go down to
AA.
NCAF specials.
Oh, NCA.
Under football on the left,
Yeah.
NCAAF specials.
Oh, I have to go down there. Oh,
And
I see it. Specials coaches.
specials coaches. Click on that, and Cal is down there. It's the last one listed there.
Okay, let me
So I
get
think it's
that.
the most recent one we put
Okay.
up. So,
Here we go.
and then
Okay,
you
now
click
I
on
can put this.
yeah,
Oh, this is perfect. Now I can put this on for people. I got it, folks. Look, all I have to
perfect.
do the magic of StreamYard, share screen, and then go down to NCAF. futures, and voila, there we are. And then for those who say, "Hey, Zenny, can you enlarge it?" My answer is yes, I can. And so I go into zoom in, and then I go into zoom in again, and I go into zoom in again, and then I go down and I scroll down, and there we go. You see that?
It's just hit show more, or is that show more down there at the bottom? That'll expand it, show more, because we got a bunch of teams there in red,
Yeah, in red, show
under
more.
red.
Like, boom.
Bam.
Ah, good call, my friend. Good call.
Hey,
Okay,
we're
so
a
that
good
was
team.
wow. Yeah, I'll read this off in full. Maybe I can enlarge this just a little bit more. Zoom in. Yeah, I did. Okay. See how does that looking here? Um, that's looking pretty good. Okay, so now let me read off the names here. We've got working left to right. Um, uh, Tosh Lupoy, 300 to 1. Ron Rivera, 500 to 1. Sean Lewis, 550 to 1. Then Jim Mora Jr., 700 to 1. David Shaw, 700 to 1. Brian Harson, 1,200 to 1. Let's talk about Brian Harson, Coach Harson. That's a real wild card, huh?
Yeah, it is a wild card. First, I just want to correct you one thing on the odds. Like, it's not 300 to 1, it's plus 300. 300 to 1 would be you win $300 on a $1 bet.
Thank you.
So
Okay. So
plus three, yeah,
plus,
plus, I don't want, if those were the odds, we'd have every one of your listeners coming over and signing up and being them put us out of business. So I
plus,
just want to correct those odds a little bit. But
I
yeah,
get
Brian
it.
Harson, he's the O coordinator now. So yeah, I can't see it happen. But you got to put his name in there. You probably know a lot more about him than I do, so I'd rather hear your commentary about him. But
Oh, yeah.
we had to put him up there. Just like we had to put Ron Rivera up there as well.
All right, I'm going to give you the full on about Brian Harson from my perspective. I thought Brian Harson, working backward, did a fantastic job of uh, developing an offensive attack for Cal football, uh, given how he came in. Now, he came in, I followed Brian Harson prior to this, not even knowing, Dave, he was coming to Cal because he, at the time, who would have thunk it? All right. Then he was often coach. He left unceremoniously, but he was also known for allegedly having an affair with his
Oh boy.
assistant, Cleshley Crochet. Now, I defended Harson and Cleshley, uh, who is his assistant. I felt that the attack was sexist. His wife knew about the fact that she worked for Coach Harson. They had a great relationship. They were all friends. But when you're not doing well in Auburn, and let's face it, he wasn't, then the knives come out and people say all kinds of things that are not true and are very unkind. And that's exactly what Brian Harson was going through. Now, when it was announced that Brian Harson would be the offensive coordinator for Cal, and that it was because Coach Wilcox and Coach Harson coached at Boise State many years, like back in 2006. Okay, uh, I thought interesting, and then I saw something that really made me very uncomfortable, Dave. It made me very uncomfortable, to say the least. And somehow I lost Cal. I don't know how I did that. I had Cal up here and I lost it. Um, how did I do that? But anyway, go up here. But at any rate, I'll just say what happened. Uh, Clessie Crochet went and became the head of football at San Jose State University, just down 880 from Berkeley. You hear what I'm saying, Dave?
I hear you.
And she was already down there, and then Harson, gets hired by Cal, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, what the blank is this stuff? Because um, now, was it that just oh he needed a job, and he went to his friend Coach Wilcox and said, "Oh, I need this job, right?" And he said, "Well, hey, I know your friend Clessy's down here. Why don't you come to the Bay Area, right?" It looked weird to me like that. It just it really it looked kind of like I don't know, all right. I don't know. Now is that fair? Well, look, given their history and given how they know each other, it seemed a little incestuous, and I think anybody who was close to it would have that observation. So when you're in that situation, you got to really do a good job. Instead, what happened, Dave, was that Coach Harson came in and he pissed off a lot of people. Fernando Mendoza left. Uh, Jaden Ott left. 9 top Cal players departed, uh, allegedly, and this is also backed by Sports Illustrated article, allegedly because of Coach Harson. So it begs the question: why isn't Coach Harson? Why isn't he the interim if he did such a great job offensively, right? But then you would say, wait a minute, Zenny, his offense just got snuffed out by Stanford. What the blank are you talking about? And I would say, amen. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. But we did have a fantastic series overall through the season. Let's give him credit for it, okay? That's for debate. So it Brian Harson comes with some hair on him, and I just have to say that in a way you're probably not going to hear anyplace else. But it's what people talk about when they get in the bars and everything else, and they talk about the situation and on top of other things that I may not know about. But that now, do I think Coach Harson would be a great hire as head coach? Yeah, I do. I really do. I think that for all of his idiosyncrasies, I think Coach Harson brought a mental discipline and toughness to Cal football that was needed. I think the offense was a little too complicated, but um, it would be interesting. Now, do I think he would be the best selection? Absolutely not. I think Deshaun Jackson would be better. All right. I think Tosh would be better if he wants to come back home. We'll have to see. I don't know about that one. I think David Shaw is the
I
best
like him
quarterback.
too.
Yeah,
I,
I think.
I like I like him too. He's had success Stanford. I know they're your rivals, but they're a great school,
Yep.
right? They'll know the challenge. You got to recruit student athletes, right? That's a big thing when you go to these schools, which is of course a challenge for a team like Cal and Stanford has hit a wall. Obviously, the last so many years, it's you're not recruiting the same kid as and I don't want to, as these big time schools where kids just aren't required to go to class and booster money is just through the roof. I mean, David Shaw, I mean, he gets it. Yeah, he was at Stanford and they're your rivals, but he had success there
Hmm.
and he knows the kind of kids you have to recruit. You have to recruit good athletes who aren't afraid of the classroom, right?
Right, right, but also it is an NIL situation, and I love where we're at because college athletes, male and female, are finally getting their due. Women are finally able to get money based off
Yep,
based off their Instagram posts, and
sure.
right, and I love it. I'm like, yes, absolutely, because it means that the tables are turned and we have to coddle the athletes. So what? Be nice to them. I don't understand why there are people who have problems coddling these kids who really are your program. They're not watching
What
us.
What do you think about the portal? What do you think about the unlimited transfers without having to sit out of here?
Well, again, my thought is this: sell, sell, sell. Make it so that whoever comes to your school wants to be at your school, and you roll out the red carpet for them. Now I understand there's there's some problems with temperaments and everything else, but look, we had situations where if you really wanted a player in the past, um, it was known that you rolled out the red carpet with cheerleaders and everything else, and you got them. Okay, why is that any different today? I'm just saying. Okay, you add money. You add money to it. This is a situation where what Cam the Carson Beck got what 6.14 million to play down in Miami. All right, yanked him from Georgia. Right, shocked the crap out of Georgia. And that's Shador Sanders was get 6 million at Colorado. I don't see where this money is going to go down. I only see it going up, and rightfully so. I love it. I have just be honest with you. I think what Ed O'Bannon did. If you don't know the Ed O'Bannon case
Yeah,
against
yeah, of course. That's how this all started.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Ed O'Bannon. Thank you for making things fun. Thank you for making it so that we don't have these situations like Todd Bozeman. We was the coach at Cal basketball, had to pull strings to get special players. And Todd's trouble was that problem was that Todd had a giant chip on his shoulder. I remember I was trying to interview him because I was writing for the Montclarian at the time after we lost to Oregon, and Todd was understandably upset. But I just gingerly said, Todd, hey, can I talk to you about? I ain't got no time for no damn fool. Blah, blah, blah. I thought, wow, okay, okay. I mean, hey, hello, neck. I like my neck. You know what I mean?
I hear
what
you.
a what a situation. So my point is that today, you have the money to go and get these players. You don't have to worry about recruiting violations anymore. It's a lot more liberal than it has been, and that's the way it ought to be to get these players. I really love it. I really do.
Yep.
Does it make your job easier, more fun? You can, it doesn't make the betting more
It's
complicated and all that stuff.
yeah, it's more challenging. I mean, it's guys, just changing school. Probably basketball's even more complicated, right? I
Hmm.
mean, the early season college basketball is difficult as it is, but now it's you used to be able to know who was going to be on your team next year. Maybe one transfer, who the seniors were, and they're gone, and maybe one transfer here and there. But now it's just the turnover is just it's incredible. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm a Villanova fan, and they have one dude on the team whoever scored a point for Villanova, and that's a program that was like
Huh.
always built on family and freshmen turning into sophomore, turning into juniors, turning into seniors, and now now of course they had a new coach, so there was a lot more turnover than it would be usual, but still, so to answer your question, it is challenging, but we adapt pretty quickly, and you know. It, as long as the sports are popular, that people keep
Yeah.
watching them. I think some old school people really don't are turned off by the transfer portal. I agree with NIL, the transfer portal, and the unlimited transfers. I think they should get one freebie, one where they can play the next year. Then after that, I mean, you got guys who are 5 schools in 4 years, and just being a cornball and thinking about what is that teaching these young men too? If they go and get rough, just keep going. I mean, in the real world, the professional job, you bounce around to a new job every year. People are going to be starting to like, hey, this guy's just a butterfly. He's just
Yeah.
bouncing
Yeah.
around from job to job. So I mean, again, being an old school corny kind of cornball here, it's like, what are you teaching these kids if they're just like hopping around every year? And so I wish they would pull back a little bit on the. I love the guys are getting paid, like you said. But I wish they would pull back the portal a little bit if it was me. But end of the day, no big deal. I don't lose sleep either way. You know what I mean? So all good. I'll keep watching. I'll keep loving. I'll keep. I love sports and I love the gambling industry. So all good. But if I was commissioner for the day or something like that, I would make that tweak. But if it doesn't happen, no big deal.
Hey, oh, I gotta hit show more here. Okay, I think I see what I did here. I lost the cow panel. Is there a way to get that back,
Huh.
or did I do something?
Yeah, no, you didn't do anything wrong. Let me see here. Sometimes they close them based on.
Let me bring it back up here.
Let me message one of the guys here.
Okay, because I had it up there, and while you're doing that, let me ask you. Uh, I mean, as I think about Coach Harson, I see him as now. I like him as like one of the top five, you know, and I would go so far as to say I think he would be a better selection for us than this fellow at San Jose State, not San Jose State, but San Diego State, because we have a known in Coach Harson, right? I mean,
All right.
say what you will about him. Uh, I mean, I like him. Okay, I like what he's done. I like his offensive approach. Uh, I like that he gave us the offensive personality. He came in a very short period of time and he really got us going. All right, and I cannot at all discount what he's done for the program. I think it's been outstanding. Let me ask you, however, where is Justin Wilcox going to go? And isn't that a factor in all this? Because Wilcox could pull uh, our quarterback, Sagapola Tele. What do you think?
I don't know. We really haven't thought about it yet. I mean, it'll be a step down, right? But there will be openings. So I think he's good enough to coach somewhere. I mean, it's his time to go at Cal. But as more openings at smaller schools come up, he'll be a name that will be in our odds. I really don't know where yet, but
Someone said
he'll be
Oregon
mentioned. So
State. They were saying Oregon
okay,
State. I thought, wow,
like
okay.
it, like it.
I mean, I had a problem when he tried to jump ship and go to Oregon on us. I said, hey, what are you doing, dude? I mean, he was really mad at the administration. That I just was not really siding with that at all. At
Right.
all. Hey, so you have some other odds here. Auburn's next head coach, Brent Key. Wow, you think Brent Key is going to jump from Georgia Tech to wow? That's a possibility. He's a plus one. Wow, and then
What are his odds here? Let me see. Well, and that's 10-1. So those are kind of long shot. That's John Summerall. I mean, he's minus 500. He's the heavy favorite there. So it's most likely going to be him.
and is Lane Kiffin a shoe-in lock for LSU?
I mean, he's the odds-on favorite, minus 175. So I wouldn't call that a shoe-in lock, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's trending that way. It's he's definitely the favorite. Shoe-in lock, no, but it's definitely trending that way. That's an interesting storyline that a lot of people are paying attention to for obvious reasons.
Now, Tommy Rees is the current offensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, over with the New York um, with the New Orleans Saints, right? No, no. Who is he with? Not the Saints. With the Cleveland Browns, right?
I believe. Which one did you say? Sorry, I'm trying to get these odds back up here.
UCLA's next head coach. Yeah, Tommy Rees is the
Okay,
offensive coordinator of the Cleveland Browns now.
let's see
So he's
here.
plus
Let's see what his.
200 for you. Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy Reese. Oh, yeah, plus 200 is a favorite there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No one's really betting on him, but who are people betting on there? Let me see.
I thought Jerry Neuheisel was a lock. I guess not.
No, Jerry Newhouse was 8-1.
Wow. And so basically, you're saying that LSU, that's Lane Kiffin's job at negative 175 or down there. Florida NFL head coach. I remember Lane with the Raiders. Boy, he had Jamarcus. I thought he made a mistake with not. I like the fact that they got Jamarcus, but he put Jamarcus in a conventional offense rather than a spread, having him throw short. Uh, wasn't the right situation for Jamarcus, but oh well, that happens. Hey, so this has been fun, man. We got to have you back talking about this. Tell us how how often you post and everything. We know where to catch you. It's Bet Online. You can see it right up here. Tell us how we can stay in touch with you here.
Yeah, man. At Dave Mason BOL on Twitter. Come on over. I tweet out all about all this stuff. Who people are betting. Some, what the action's like, the new spreads and the new lines, and whenever new markets go up. We have all the meat and potato normal stuff. We also do a lot of out of the box stuff like these next head coach and odds. A lot of books don't do this stuff, but we love doing them. So yeah, come on over to betonline.ag at Dave Mason BOL on Twitter.
I definitely do it. Hey, gotta ask you too. What do you think about how sports has transformed Las Vegas, and has it been good for sports betting overall? Bad?
For what's that?
Las Vegas and how Las Vegas has attracted sports. Um,
I mean,
and
betting. I mean, it's there's pros and cons to it, right? I mean, that the pros are that get more eyeballs. I mean, a lot of people are watching these games or because of betting or their fantasy team. So it gets a lot more eyeballs on the sports league. There's such a hypocrisy because the sports league for years are saying, "Oh, the gambling's bad," and then all of a sudden, when it opened up a few years back, it's like, "Oh yeah, wait, what's all this money? The ratings are going up and all this money pouring in. Oh, gambling's good, gambling's good." I mean, the leagues, they're partners with some of these gambling companies now. So yeah, I mean, now on the flip side, there's a lot of new markets as gambling has become more popular. There's been a lot more new markets. Some of these newer books have put up, like some of these same game parlays. I mean, we know the Terry Rozier case, the alleged case in the NBA,
Right.
where he's doing these same game parlays, supposedly betting all unders, and that stuff has to be pulled back. We've been around for a while, so we know how to we know how to deal with odds like that, with lower limits on stuff like that, where we're not going to get beat up too much, we're not going to win too much, but it's not going to open the door for any kind of fraudulent behavior too. Any markets where there's going to be some fraudulent behavior, and so we keep the limits lower, like something like that. But they can place them. They're placing 5-figure bets on under assist and under this and parlay them all up, and that's just crazy. So there's a lot of some bumps in the road, but overall, it's just one of those things. If you don't like gambling, that's cool. Stay away from it, But one thing is, and I work in the industry, but man, oh man, there's too many advertisements, and I work in the industry. That has to be pulled back too. It's just, oh my god, they're shoving it down everybody's throat. If you like it, great, but if you don't like it, you have to watch gambling advertisements every time now, and every announcer talking about their plays is like, come on, let's just pull back a little bit.
Hey, do you think that it was just? What did you think about this whole NBA uh, betting scandal? Did you think that it's a tip of the iceberg, or was it an anomaly, or how should we think about it?
I don't think it's an anomaly. I mean, you know, there's been a hit, right? There's so many games, so many players. There's been fixes before. Just thinking in my lifetime, we had Tulane, their basketball team, Arizona State, back in the '90s. But I think it's easier now for these players to do it. Just like I said, with all those props. That's kind of the elephant in the room. Some of those newer props where they can same game parlay, like those same game parlays didn't exist 5-6 years ago, where I could parlay, LeBron James under assists, under rebounds, under that was a no-no in this industry. Then a few years back, some of these newer books developed that, and now we've all kind of followed. But like I said, stuff like that for a smaller player where they're not making a lot of money, they there's been a few players now. It's just been caught doing that, and it's just but the thing is, even though it's easier to place those bets now for some of these players that want to do this stuff, it's a lot easier for them to get caught. So if any of them are listening, don't do it. You're gonna get caught because all the books will recognize that there's some crazy action coming in on something that usually doesn't get that kind of action, and you'll get caught. So just stay the hell away.
Wow, interesting, interesting. We'll have you back, my friend. Hey, thank you so very much. Thank you for coming.
Hey, thank you very much for having me. That was a great discussion. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Hey, don't go anywhere. Hey, folks, we'll be back later tonight, and don't forget Thanksgiving football. We're going to be monitoring what's happening here. Don't forget to come back here and also check out our NFL sports football website, NFL News by Zenny62.com. And again, thank you, Dave. Stick around. Don't move a muscle. That ends the stream, folks. We'll see you.